So one of the questions that I get asked all the time is, how did you start Uniform Bright? What was the catalyst? And it's an interesting question. I never thought I was going to be in this situation, but I'll tell you what happened. I used to work for a large uniform rental company for a long time. I was a driver. I worked as a plant manager in sales and service. I started out as a truck unloader. But anyways, yeah. So I worked for that company, and things went great. I ended up leaving, and I went to another organization, probably the worst organization that I. It was probably similar to what's going on with Vestis right now. But anyways, um, I got hired on as a sales and service manager, and was on a route the whole time because couldn't have drivers. Everything was just messed up. Shortages every single day. We were a depot, and so the stuff was coming in from the plant, and it was like a Vestas person called me today, and he says, "Hey, I'm at a depot, and I just got my stuff." He called me at like 7 o'clock in the morning, so it's like 5 o'clock in the morning in California. But he says, "Hey, I'm a depot. I'm supposed to service my customers today. I got like 50% of my merchandise that I'm supposed to service my customer." It was kind of like that, not as bad, but it was kind of like that. And so I ended up leaving because they were telling me, here's the story. So they told me, they said, I was driving on a route and I got to the dealership. I had like 5 mats with me. This dealership took 50 mats. And I called the GM up and I said, look, man, I'm gonna write a credit on this. He says, you're not gonna write a credit. He says, if you write a credit, you're gonna be in trouble. I said, I'm not writing a credit. I don't care what you do. I'm gonna leave here if I don't have these mats. He drove to me like 40 miles. He drove and he ended up giving me the mats. We didn't write the credit, but anyway, long story short, I ended up leaving that company and I left for a good reason. And here's the cool thing: if this is happening to you and you want to leave but you haven't been fired yet, I left that company, and there's something with the Workers' Compensation Board, and it's called your sincerely held religious beliefs. And so, if they're making you do things um, that are against your sincerely held religious beliefs, then you can quit and still collect unemployment. So that's what happened. I ended up going to unemployment, trying to collect. They said, no, you quit. I made a 70-page report. I included shortages and emails and all this information. I ended up winning and getting my sincerely held religious beliefs. I got my unemployment, and that was it. And so while I'm on unemployment and I'm kind of mulling over what I'm going to do next, and I'm like, man, and I'm sure a lot of you have said the same thing, right? There should be somebody out there that helps these people. There should be a need here. Somebody should do something. And I did it. And so I said, you know what? I built a website and I started soliciting customers, and things were slow for probably the first 6 years, but the last 2 years, just been killing it, traveling like every single week all over the United States. And so, why? Why? Why would I do something like that? And I think it comes to the core of who I really am. And in the core, I really hate bullies. And maybe some of you are the same way I am. You're a type A personality. You're willing to jump in and sacrifice. And that's the way I was. When I was in high school, I'll tell you this story. When I was in high school, I hated bullies, but I was never really a good fighter. That's the cool thing, right? I wasn't this guy who liked to fight, and I'm not going to sit here and brag and say I won all of my fights. No, far from that. I probably won less than 50% of the fights that I got into when I was in high school. But I got a reputation that hey, he's going to fight. He's not going to back down, and people ended up giving me that respect, and they didn't mess around with my friends or people when I was around. And so that's kind of the way I am right now. And so I love what I do. It's probably the greatest feeling in the world to help people that are having problems. And again, look, I do not hate the industry. If anybody ever gets the idea that I hate the industry, that's far from it. I love the industry. Um, but there are some bad operators. Just like in every industry, there are a lot of bad operators who they just look at you as a number, as a contract, and they say to themselves, I can do what you want. I got you under contract. I can increase the price whenever I want. I can give you bad service, and I can still expect you to pay that bill every single week. And you know what? I don't like that, and we're going to stop it. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Who knows how far this grows? Maybe we end up franchising it. Maybe people come along my side, and I can't handle the entire United States. Can't be too greedy in this industry. There's way too much work, way too many bad operators out there for for me to try to take all the work. So, anyways, guys, more videos coming. I got a lot more subjects since I'm coming to a couple weeks where I'm going to be slowing down in the near future. I'm going to post some more videos. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Share it with your friends. And we'll see you out there one of these days, maybe around your plant. All right. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye-bye.